The shark Mark Cuban sued for allegedly promoting a crypto Ponzi scheme. And I thought this would be a pretty interesting article to cover. So, Shark Tank star Mark Cuban, owner of the Dallas Mavericks, and Voyager Digital CEO Stephen Ehrlich are being sued for allegedly promoting Voyager Digital's crypto products, which the plaintiffs claim was a massive Ponzi scheme into which Cuban and Eric duped millions of Americans into investing. The class action lawsuit filed in the U.S. District Court of the Southern District of Florida claims that Cuban and Ehrlich went to great lengths to use their experience as investors to dupe millions of Americans into investing, in many cases, their life savings. Get this. Their life savings. And that is such a sad thing to read that so many people lost all of their money into the deceptive Voyager platform and purchasing Voyager Earn Program accounts, or EPAs, which are unregistered securities. As a result, the lawsuit maintains over 3.5 million Americans have now all but lost over $5 billion in cryptocurrency assets. This action seeks to hold Ehrlich, Cuban, and his Dallas Mavericks responsible for paying them back. The lawsuit continues, adding that during a Mavericks press conference, team owner Cuban said he strongly supported and touted the partnership between his company and the Voyager defendants. And to be frank, this is actually probably going to be one of the things that's going to really be a thorn in Mark Cuban's side, right? Because Mark Cuban did promote Voyager pretty heavily, right? And pretty heavily to the fans of the Mavericks. And this is the thing, there's nothing wrong with let's say one organization promoting another organization saying hey, these are our sponsors. Okay, leave it at that, right? The problem is Mark Cuban and Ehrlich really really pushed it towards that line where it's going to get really bad. It's kind of iffy. It's the gray area of is this even okay to do what you're doing? So according to the Dallas Morning News, Adam Moskowitz, the managing partner of the Miami-based Moskowitz law firm, said Cuban was going around doing a roadshow with Ehrlich saying that he did an investigation and that this was a safe investment. This statement, if he did verbatim say that it was a safe investment, it's going to be so bad, right? Because the thing is, there are no safe investments, period. There is literally no safe investments. There are safer investments, but there is no safe investments, right? You can put money into your house. That is a safer investment than Voyager, obviously. But guess what? You could be in an area where basically everything around you basically goes to poop, and your house is now worth not even more than $1,000, right? Very rare circumstance of that happening, but it has happened in some areas, right? There's literally really nice houses up for sale right now that people are not willing to buy, even though it's only being sold for $5,000, $1,000. And these are really nice homes. And the reason for it is because they're in a location where no one is at, high crime, very dangerous, and no one wants to live there, period. So, real estate is a safer investment than crypto, but you could also lose your shirt with real estate. The stock market, specifically index funds, are safer than individual stocks, right? But you could still end up pulling your money out at the wrong time and you could end up losing all your money. So, like, again, there's safer investments, there's no safe investment. And we just couldn't figure out how could he say that. I agree. I mean, in a very quick minute, our experts are saying it's a scam. So, what's going on here? Something was very strange. Still, Cuban says that he personally invested in the platform. But here's the thing, if you're like a billionaire and you put like 5 million into a platform, is that really you investing into that platform? Not really. Or is it something like where like you basically get a kickback for everyone that signs up? Is that really you investing into a platform? So the suit also states that Voyager, along with its executives, made false and deceptive deposit insurance claims to raise investor confidence in the product. But in July, the Federal Reserve and the Federal Deposit Insurance Corp sent a joint letter advising Voyager to stop making such claims that likely misled customers. Likely. Oof. Voyager again ran into trouble after lending money to a hedge fund to trade crypto on its platform. But after the crypto price crashed, the hedge fund couldn't pay back Voyager. By June, Three Arrows Capital defaulted on its Voyager loan that was worth roughly $670 million. And then soon after, Voyager filed for bankruptcy. Why? Because they basically put everything into Three Arrows, right? Like, either Voyager is a scam, basically, or they're a bunch of morons, right? Which they could be both. So it's like a Ponzi scheme, Moskowitz said. When someone says, I want my money back, they tell you, well, it was used to pay Peter and now we have no money to pay you, right? And here's the thing. Like, this is completely different than like a situation where like you were to buy a product and then you were offered an affiliate link and then you were to potentially make like a sale of promoting that product, like a kickback, right? So let's say that I have a product and you were to buy it, right? But also you could make money by also promoting that product, right? That is a very different thing, right? Because you're actually promoting a product. You're actually selling a product. People are actually getting a product, right? And specifically the product that was advertised. But with this, you're basically putting money into a system that is paying other people off, right? So money is being used to pay people off, but is making it seem like you're actually getting a return on your money when your money doesn't really even exist in there to begin with because it's already been used to basically already been given to another person. It's basically like saying like let's say that you have a best friend and an ex-girlfriend. Let's just say that. Let's say that your best friend says, "Hey, if you give me $1, I'll give you a quarter every week." Right? So, you agree to that because why not? You end up giving your best friend $1 so that you start getting your quarters. You start getting your quarters, right? But you're only getting your quarters because he's now getting another dollar by making the same promise to your ex-girlfriend where she's now giving him $1, which is now paying you a return. And they're going to have to keep on getting more people to give him the $1 to keep paying you and your ex-girlfriend and then on to keep this game going. Where you're basically using new people's money to pay off other people that keep coming in, right? And technically speaking, this type of scheme can pretty much go on forever as long as they're able to bring in more and more and more customers, more and more people, right? Believing into this whole thing. It's just like a really sketchy scenario and is honestly disturbing how many people probably lost all of their life savings. If you have lost your life savings, feel free to, provide your input. I think this is a really sad thing. I think cryptocurrency has a place in the future. More so like Ethereum and Bitcoin. I really don't like the way that a lot of these platforms have been operating because basically they're like really scammy banks, basically. That's the way that I view it. They're basically really scammy, scummy banks that want to take advantage of you. If you want to learn how to get out of debt, go to 14bucks.com.